In the last 2 years, the UK has seen severe flooding impact communities, businesses, properties and agriculture, particularly in Somerset and Cumbria. It was the emergency services such as fire and rescue, police, RNLI and ambulance who were mobilised to help protect communities from further flooding or flood damage. They also rescued the public from precarious situations or those trapped in properties from rising flood water. This level of dedication and commitment to communities means that the emergency services and voluntary organisations ensure that their crews are trained to the highest standard. As part of its commitment to safeguarding the communities across Wales, the Joint Emergency Services Group, JESG, planned a major resilience exercise. Exercise Polygon, to ensure that all emergency services and related agencies are prepared for a significant flooding event, which requires resources from across the UK. Exercise Polygon saw over 15 organisations from across the UK join South Wales Fire and Rescue Services over a 2-day period for realistic training scenarios at different locations across South East Wales. Crews tackled scenarios based on floodwater engulfing a large number of homes around Cardiff, with emergency services receiving numerous calls from persons trapped in buildings, rivers and vehicles. There was also concern for the water levels in the Ponsticket Dam above Merthyr, which was represented by Cardiff Docks for the exercise. House Rescue. As part of the exercise, representatives from all agencies with boat rescue teams were tasked with the rescue of a casualty from a partially submerged property, a scenario emergency services could face should severe flooding happen for real.
Well, it's not well. He's definitely changing. He's going very yellow. He really needs the toilet, we can't go.
If we look at protected boat, it's just a build onto that basically. So both boats, up until a point, will operate independently of each other until the point where they touch. Everyone happy with that so far? So first boat is going to come into the flow, and what we don't want you doing is scraping up the inside. One thing you haven't got here is a lot of helical flow. On the front of a big property with property going across it, you've got quite a bit of helical flow that flows down. So as you come up, stem the flow, hold into the flow, and then break over the eddy line, eddy fence onto the property. What you want to be doing is getting the middle of the boat, on this one, which is the rescue boat, near enough in line with the middle of the window, okay? As you come in a touch, turn slightly, okay, so you've got the flow and you're touching on side. The helm will be on the right hand side of the boat, and the two crew now need to sit on the downstream side to lift it high side. Once you're in a position where you know you're not moving forwards and moving backwards, that's when the second boat then gets the okay to move in, okay? With the boat sitting in technique, the second boat will come up, hold into the flow, come across, edge on. When it touches, they're then going to turn near enough in this flow, 90 degrees to the flow. What's then going to happen is one of the crew members is going to be on a bow. That's going to drop the bow down, which then drives it into the sponson of this one. If you don't put anyone in the bow of this, it'll ride up onto the sponson. We don't want to be there, okay? The reason why we're asking you to come in here and not try and drive at 90 degrees to the flow is either you'll do that and disappear, or the other one is just up here, as you can see, is a very small eddy, but it's quick enough to pull your boat in. So, boat moves in 90 degrees. Once they're both set and happy, that's when the ladder then gets pitched. My suggestion to you is the communications to the casualty is done by the person in the bow of this boat. The reason being is that they've got eye contact. If it's the people on this boat, what's going to end up happening is that the casualty is going to lean out the window and start trying to look downwards. That's what we don't want. Okay, just be aware of what's happening with the ladder. You've got a couple of lugs on it, so you don't want to be putting it into the sponson because you're going to have a whole world of pain halfway through the exercise. Okay, the ladder near enough touches the sponson, so it's dug straight into the sponson, and the pressure coming down is then going to be acted by the boat that's pushing you in. Okay, which is the reason why the ladder can't stay pitched, why the other boat moves away. Okay, get the casualty into the boat. Once the casualty's in the boat, sit them down, talk to them and advise them you're now going to transfer them from this boat into this one, because you've got a ladder that's going to come back into your boat at some point and you don't want the extra person in there. The maximum you can have in the boat at any one time is 4. and that's just about manoeuvrability of the boat. Once you transferred with the casualty and everyone's a go, take the ladder down. Once the ladder's down, or wherever you want to put the ladder, this boat then works independently, comes out of the flow, and this one works independently, comes out of the flow. Once you've got rid of the casualty, both boats go back in for the next run. Any questions on that? Make sense? Just a couple of safety bits that we need to cover just before you go off.
The house at CIWW, Cardiff International Whitewater, was built by USAR for the exercise and enabled the crews involved to train under realistic conditions. Casualty rescue from fast-flowing rapids. Ogmore. Fast-flowing water is a massive challenge for crews during any rescue incidents, as responders must consider the direction of the water in order to safely undertake a rescue. The River Ogmore provided the perfect location for this type of training to be carried out. With the river currents and flow, the scenarios tested the agency's ability to assess any potential risks, such as debris, floating downstream towards the incident, as well as giving them the opportunity to train in realistic water conditions.
We've carried a range of scenarios out tonight on the River Ogmore, predominantly testing crews' capability and resilience in large-scale flooding incidents. We've had a range of crews here in terms of their water rescue capability. We've run in the scenarios in a real live environment purely because when crews get called to water rescue incidents, they have to operate safely. It's important to have many technical aspects of water rescue. There's many different levels of water rescue within the fire service, and we've evolved tremendously over the last 10 or 15 years. The fire services in Wales, we all have different standards of water rescue. Some are trained in the more technical aspects, which involves greater danger, hence the crews have to have a greater degree of training and skill to be able to carry out real-life live rescues in that environment. So we've got like an ethos in the fire and rescue service: you train hard, you rescue easy.
Barrage. Agencies with flood rescue capabilities were mobilised to tackle a number of search and rescue scenarios of persons reported in the water. These were based within the Cardiff Barrage to provide crews with realistic, real-time opportunities that train and further develop skills in order to deal with incidents of this nature.
My name is Richard Jackson. We're part of the RNLI station from Penarth, covering safety aspects for the operation today. We are currently on the safety boat monitoring the operation, and if needed we will be of assistance. It's a multi-agency exercise whereupon we do not know whether the fire brigade or search rescue will actually take the assets, which are the boats. They'll go around the coast in a search pattern to try and find the hidden bodies or dummies, assess them. Each one will be unique, and assess it on a rapid risk assessment process, and then deploy back to complete the task.
Scenarios today have gone very well. Multiple multi-agency teams here this morning. They've had several casualties to rescue on the water. A lot of boat searching has been involved. Also some land searching has been involved along the bankside safety. But so far so good, everything's gone really well, and I think a lot of the teams have got tremendous technical ability, and they've done some really good rescues this morning. Exercise Polygon is a great training event for us, exercising event for us to do multi-agency training. All our individual agencies do our own training, but it's a great opportunity for us to train together, especially for a flooding event where the flooding events happen dynamically. So if we can put an event together, we can train and learn from and pick up new ideas from our other agencies. It's just a perfect environment.
Water rescues are a regular occurrence and are on the increase for the agencies involved, whether that is coastal or inland waters. Operational training in dealing with such incidents in a safe environment is essential for responders. Boat rescue of casualty and persons. Cosmiston. Crews were mobilised to a number of incidents involving both bank and water searches, as well as rescues ensuring that personnel involved were able to test their capability in dealing with challenging scenarios and working with other agencies for the safe resolution to each incident undertaken. The scenarios playing out at this location provided a safe environment for responders with flood rescue capabilities to train for incidents of this nature.
We're off to do an exercise now, and what we're going to do is, there's 2 casualties and they're stuck on a bridge in the lake. One person's gone in to rescue a casualty who's fallen in and got injured. So now we're waiting the crew to arrive, and obviously they'll be deployed, give them the basic information, and they will then carry out the rescues. It's been a great learning experience. It's been a great experience to meet the people from the other organisations and work together and actually get some consistency in our approach and learn from each other. Communications has been a big learning point today. Some exercises, yes, we've learned some good communication issues, but actually there's been some excellent communication at times. And again, we've been able to debrief crews and send crews away with some great learning points, as well as learning ourselves.
Polygon is important to the police. It enables us to iron out any issues, to make sure that we are working together with partner agencies to provide an effective, swift, directed response in instances when flooding may or may not occur. One of the issues that I think came up out of the day is to make sure that our communication is correct across agencies. That is something that we can improve on, but as I say, an exercise like this is valuable in gaining information to make things better. The next exercise we do will be better again, and we'll continue to improve to make sure that we are ready for when situations like this occur.
I'll be looking at obviously the casualty-centred rescue as well, but the person who's gone in, maybe a quick snatch rescue of that person and put one of our own personnel who's professionally trained in the right equipment along with the casualty, talk to the casualty, give them the support, and then professionally remove that casualty to the bank, but obviously immobilising the spine. So centre that on that, and good communications between the teams.
Took out several different exercises today. Some people were simply just trapped in the water. We had other people injured and hanging off a bridge. We had people who were unconscious in the water and people who were suffering the after effects of hypothermia. Done rescues just solely based in the water. We've done rescues solely based just on land, and a mixture of both. And they've been fantastic tools for us as a training exercise for us to provide a better service.
Let one outside the boat, that's for well, yeah. So we just sit spot something out, if possible, yeah. So head only, and head only. Anyone all ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, left. And just pivot round, rest there. Okay. When we're out, you can have 2 sets of hands on. I have the vessel, right? So we're going to go for 18-inch increment, straight up on the sponsor. 3, 2, 1, left. Rest there. Okay. And jump off. Feet aside, you'll have the feet fine now. Okay. And I'll hold. Yeah, that's fine, mate. Okay. So on head, man, then. 2, 1, left. And straight down there, guys. Lovely job.
Over my left shoulder is the decontamination tent. To help the environment and to make sure, obviously, that we don't spread contamination. That's firstly back to the stations, but also we don't want to cross-contamination or carry any microorganisms or bacteria away from this lake to another part of the region. So we're actually decontaminating personnel and the boats and equipment with hot water that is at 40 degrees, and that's been agreed by the Environmental Agency that would be suitable to make sure we don't spread any contamination.
RRT is supporting the exercise Polygon today because we are a global organisation where we support emergency services and community support events throughout the whole of the world, and today was a great exercise to prove what we can do for the emergency services. RRT is a Christian-based charity, and we like to do what we can to try and help as much as possible for all community, whether it be an emergency service or a flood or a fire. We're always there to help, and we supply food and drinks, or we can support in other ways depending on what's necessary. I think Exercise Polygon has been an excellent success. There's been a lot of interaction with all different emergency services from all around Wales, and it's helped us shine in what we can do well.
Large animal rescues, Newport. Large animal rescues are an increasing rescue being undertaken by fire and rescue services across the UK. Such incidents pose a number of hazards and risks to the rescuers due to the unpredictable nature of the animals. Crews are mobilised to a person's trapped incident, where a rider, in this instance a dummy, was lodged beneath a life-size horse dummy. These types of rescues can be complicated by injured riders or distressed owners of that animal, placing additional moral pressure on the crews. Specialist rescue paths are used in conjunction with harnesses and reach poles to secure the animal prior to recovery to a place of safety. timing is of particular importance where tidal water is involved, like with this incident, increasing the risks further. Collaborative working is essential in tackling incidents of this kind at the scenario, as well as the exercise as a whole, so to ensure that crews from across all the agencies were able to develop this specialist knowledge to ensure that real-life incidents have a safe conclusion. Car rescue. This is one of the most challenging types of rescues which crews can undertake due to the dangerous instability of the vehicle. The scenario allowed crews to train in realistic water conditions and to tackle a multiple casualty rescue. When mobilised into an incident of this kind, rescuers must consider which direction, upstream or downstream, to undertake the rescue. If upstream of the vehicle, rescuers can get caught in a strenuous situation, and if attempting a downstream rescue, they put themselves at risk if the vehicle moves. In this scenario, there were minimum rescuers in the hazard areas and the HEART team paramedic was sent to assess the casualty's condition and prioritise which order the casualties were to be rescued, especially those who were identified as time critical.
Unconscious breathing? Now he's breathing.
A second rescuer was mobilised into the hazard area to secure the vehicle, ensuring stability. Operational concerns would be that when you remove someone from the vehicle, it becomes lighter and could then move, putting crews at risk. Once the vehicle was confirmed as stable, the rescue was able to commence following clinical guidance of the HEART paramedic. The rescues are completed using inflatable sledges. The safety of our crews and the casualties in scenarios like this is paramount, and there would be upstream spotters in place to warn of any debris, like trees or other vehicles that could float into the area. There would also be downstream safety precautions in place should crew lose their footing and get washed downstream out of the rescue area. Across the 2 days of exercise polygon, over 200 emergency services and rescue personnel were mobilised to 42 incidents at the 5 locations, giving those crews involved real-time scenarios to test and develop their skills, as well as the capability to deal with different water-based search and rescue incidents. The exercise focused on collaboration, why training matters. It showcased how, as agencies, it is vital that we continue to work together to keep the communities of Wales safe. Safe should severe flooding occur in the future, but also while we enjoy the coastal and inland waters of Wales.